I guess when the government's own nonpartisan watchdog starts ringing the alarm bell, you have to wonder if the people in charge even have a map, or if they're just driving us off a cliff and calling it a scenic route. Hey Canada, it's Earl. We need to talk about Annette Ryan. She's our new Parliamentary Budget Officer, PBO, and her job is to keep the government honest about how they spend your money. Last Thursday, she stood before a House committee and pulled the curtain back on the Carney government's latest financial update. She was honest, and in this town, that's a dangerous way to be. Let's break down exactly what she found and why it matters for your wallet. The Canada Strong Slush Fund? Prime Minister Carney just announced the Canada Strong Fund, our country's first ever sovereign wealth fund. Sounds patriotic, right? But the PBO says it's more like a black hole. The missing details. Ryan noted that the fund is a leading example of spending that lacks specific objectives, risks, or targets. It's a promise of nation building without any actual plans. The $25 billion question. So, the government plans to borrow $25 billion just to start this fund, but they didn't even list that borrowing as a line item in the fiscal update. They're hiding the bill before the fund even opens. Let's look at the accountability gap. Ryan warned that the update introduced undefined priorities that desperately need better governance. Without clear rules, experts are already worried this will become a politically motivated slush fund instead of an investment for Canadians. Next, the debt per Canadian, the rising bill. If you feel like your dollar isn't going as far, it might be because the government is pinning more debt on your back every single day. Based on this new update, the federal debt per Canadian is set to jump from $33,592 this year to $38,295 in just 5 years. Finance Minister Champagne just added $54.5 billion in new costs since the last budget. They're spending like there's no tomorrow, while the PBO says they aren't even tracking the results of that spending. Next, we have the transparent cost-cutting myth. The government claims they're cutting costs to save money, but Ryan isn't buying it.
She says there is no real data. She pointed out that the government provided fairly limited detail on their savings plan.
She also pointed out the missing proof. There are no estimates for year one savings and no details on how they'll actually reduce the size of the federal workforce. It's all talk and no tape. Here is the bottom line. The PBO's job is to inform Parliament so they can hold the government accountable. Annette Ryan has done her part by showing us the roadmap is blank.
Now, the ball is in the court of the Liberal MPs. They have all this up-to-date data. They know the debt is climbing, the wealth fund has no oversight, and the spending targets are undefined.
If they see these warnings from the PBO and still vote to pass this budget, then we know exactly where their loyalty lies. It's not with the Canadian taxpayer, it's with the party line. The media wants you to focus on the national vision. I want you to focus on the fact that you're being asked to pay for a vision that the government's own experts can't even see. Thanks for watching. Stay awake.